Hello my dear students, how are you? Today we are going to solve assignment number 13. Topic of today's discussion is chemical formulae. So let us begin. First MCQ is, which atom has two more electrons than an atom of a noble gas? So here you are given a standard of noble gas electronic configuration. You know why noble gases are stable and they do not react? Because they have a stable most electronic configuration. And which electronic configuration is stable? Having 8 electrons means completely filled outermost shell. So if elements are following noble gas group after group, every time one electron is added in their new shell. For example, helium, proton number 2. Lithium comes in the second period after helium, whose proton number is 3. So helium first shell is completely filled with 2 electrons, and in case of lithium, first shell is completely filled and other shell begins and 1 electron is added into it. So this is how element after element 1 electron and proton is added into their atoms. Now we consider beryllium. Beryllium is coming next to lithium. Now when we see 4 electrons distribution, 2 electrons are present in the first shell and 2 electrons come in the second shell. So we see this is how beryllium has 2 more electrons in its atom after noble gas. Means the elements belonging to group 2 must be having 2 electrons more than that of a noble gas. So you see what options are there? Aluminium, bromine, calcium and rubidium. Just check their positions, in which group they are belonging, and encircle the correct answer. Now MCQ number 2. An atom X has 8 more electrons than atom Y. Means if atom X has 8, atom Y has 8 electrons, the another atom X must be having 8 more electrons than Y atom. Student 1 says they are in the same group. Means they must be belonging to the same group in the periodic table. They must be having same electronic configuration, same valency and other properties. Okay, we will think about it. And another student says that they are unreactive. Okay, now this has to be considered. Means if atom Y is unreactive, or you say is a noble gas, atom X should also be following the same properties. Okay, when we see the difference of electrons in the elements lying up and down in the periodic table, we come to know that if lithium is present in group 1A having 3 electrons, means the next underlying element is sodium is having 11 electrons. So there is a difference of 8 electrons. Next coming potassium having 19 protons and 19 electrons. Means again there is a difference of 8. So student 1 is absolutely right in saying that they are in the same group. But this is not the complete chemistry of having difference of 8 electrons and belonging to the same group. If student 2 says they are unreactive, that is not applicable in case of normal elements. This is only applicable in case of noble gases. So select the option in which student 1 is right and student 2 is wrong. Next MCQ, a gas has the molecular formula NOCl. N represents nitrogen, O means oxygen, Cl is representing chlorine. So we have to see which diagram could show the molecules of pure gas NOCl. Okay, all four diagrams are having different representations. When we see block A, that is not possible because all of the atoms are in a free state. They are not bonded. But when we see diagram B, they are homonuclear, mean triatomic molecule consists of same type of atoms. So it can't be possible. But when we see diagram C and D, yes, we have to take these two blocks seriously. Now, before selecting the right answer, you have to see this gray ball is representing nitrogen, which is trivalent here. But this black dot means oxygen, which is divalent. And this Cl is just monovalent, means they will be making 3, 2 and 1 bonds consecutively. So we see in block D, the black ball is in the center, means oxygen is in the center. So what do you think? Is it possible? Oxygen remain in the center, making 2 bonds, one with nitrogen and one with chlorine. In this diagram, chlorine is satisfied because it is only monovalent, means making only 1 bond. Oxygen is shown divalent, it's making 2 bonds, okay, satisfied. But what about nitrogen? Nitrogen is a trivalent atom. So this is how block D will not be suitable again. When we see block C, in this block nitrogen is shown in the middle, one side oxygen and the other side bivalent oxygen. So what do you think? In this diagram, all of the atoms are satisfied because they are having full chemical bonds. The next MCQ is magnesium and sulfur each form a chloride. What could be the formula of these chlorides? When we see magnesium, magnesium is the element of group 2. So it is bivalent, making positive 2 ions. So it is okay. But in case of sulfur, sulfur belongs to group 6. It is bivalent as oxygen. So when sulfur makes 2 bonds with chlorines, it completes its octet and the D seems to be most correct, or it is the correct one in fact. MCQ number 5. A compound contains 1 atom of calcium, 2 atoms of hydrogen and 2 atoms of oxygen. A very well-known compound is written here as the correct answer is the calcium hydroxide, and you must be very confident in selecting the right answer having 1 calcium, 2 oxygen and 2 hydrogen atoms, that is lime water. Theory section. Write the formula of the ionic compounds and also calculate the percentage of each element in the following. Now, like this question needs your practice how to write the chemical formulae using crisscross formula. Suppose I give only one example here, that is sodium carbonate. Now you have to see the formula for sodium carbonate. You must know the symbol of sodium, that is Na and its valency. And carbonate CO3, it's a radical which is negatively ionized. So this is how the symbols with their valencies of cations and anions are written, and next step is to cross their valencies or the oxidation states in fact. So we see the positive one will be written as the lower script of carbonate, and this 2 will be written as the lower script beneath sodium. So the formula goes like Na2CO 3. That's it. Now this is the correct chemical formula for ionic compound sodium carbonate. The next step is to find the percentage of each element. You know the percentages of all elements making up any chemical compound should be 100. Means the percentage of sodium and percentage of carbon and oxygen should be summed up to give us 100. So how we can work it out? So you see how many grams of that element is present in that compound. So you will find the percentage of sodium by grams of sodium and the molecular or molar mass, in fact, because this is ionic compound, the molar mass multiplied by 100. So this formula is the correct formula for finding the percentage of each element. In case of sodium, you will be putting grams of sodium as a numerator, but in case of carbon, you will be putting the gram of carbon as the numerator. And you don't forget that how many atoms of sodium are there, so you have to multiply by the number of atoms present in that compound. 1 atom of sodium is 23 grams. So 2 atoms of sodium are present in sodium carbonate. So the gram of the sodium will be multiplied by 2. Similarly, you work out for the chemical formulae for all of the given question ionic compounds and you work out for their percentages. I am leaving you with a hope that this worksheet is the easiest worksheet made by me, and I have tried to explain the whole chemistry of each question. Now you just practice. This is your turn. I am here available to entertain all kinds of questions from your side. Thank you. God bless you. Take care.